Hey guys, Mike here. Basically doing a little impromptu video because I want to talk about something. I originally wanted to do a video discussing somebody who's kind of wronged me, but then I decided, hey, let's leave that alone because tried to do a couple of takes of the video, it just didn't work out. Then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go on YouTube, watch a few videos, and see if I can come up with some sort of inspiration. Hence the reason why I haven't really done anything kind of substantial in the last 2 weeks, because there was nothing really much for me to talk about. So I sat there and I started thinking to myself, and then I watched a video of a friend of mine by the name of the Completionist. Great guy, a well-rounded individual in a sense, because he has his head rather screwed on. You know, he's always a firm believer on basically using discussion, thinking about things. And by the way, this is my cat, just so you know, a little Misty. And he would always like discuss things and kind of rationalize things. Very intelligent and also very profound in his own sense. Got very hard work ethic. I wanted to kind of use his video in a sense to kind of move on to like kind of spearhead this video, because it kind of motivated me. And it motivated me for a few reasons. One is the fact that I'm trying to figure out I'm at a crossroads in a sense, because I'm trying to figure out my place. You know, life's got me into a bit of a situation that I was not prepared for, I think. And a lot of my career choices have been placed on hold in order to kind of rationalize and figure out what I'm going to do next. It's annoying in some retrospect, but it's also rather needed because I need to figure out how I'm going to progress. But, you know, despite that, it kind of segues into what I want to talk about right now. So, not despite it, but yeah, still. I want to talk about the fact that people who do things for money, YouTube, monetary reasons and stuff. Now, I did videos about this in the past. I discussed like a few channels and talked about their own little sense of corruption, in a sense. I think a lot of them who are associated with Screenwave Entertainment. For those who don't know, Screenwave actually has a very substantial amount of YouTube channels under their banner. Like you've got Normal Boots, you've got the Magic Block, for instance, and also Final Bosses, a channel that I've spoken about a couple of times. And what goes into these, what the combination of both these channels are, is money. A lot of these guys, they get monetary gains from their channels, and they also get gains from Patreon, which was originally created as a kind of a creator-themed service. So it was targeting towards artists, towards like people who do like videos and other little bits and pieces, and was then turned into a service for content creators, which I didn't have an issue with, but then moved into a direction towards YouTubers and vloggers. I have no issue with people wanting to achieve their dreams, because it's kind of one of the things that I've been doing. You know, I've been an actor for over a decade. I've acted in pieces, I've directed a few pieces, and I've also came in contact with some great people. You know, I've worked with some artists like Megaran. There you go. Uncensored for you. I've worked with some great actors, and I've also put together projects that I'm currently in the process of editing, but figured out they're bigger jobs than what I can actually achieve myself. And I've acted with some amazing talents as well, like some great directors, Kenneth Branagh for one, who I loved working with him. And I've also, you know, in an attempt to kind of achieve my successes, put together my own production company, and then I pitched a TV project to Konami, which was basically greenlit by them, but then went sour due to their own issues. And it's a 50-50 opportunity in a sense, and everybody wants to make money out of doing what they love. You know, if you're an artist and people ask you for some free drawings, you really want them to pay you. If you're basically someone who likes to do blogs, you really want to know how to monetize those blogs and get some monetary gain out of them. If you're a YouTuber, you kind of want to make money out of your YouTube videos, because a lot of people don't do this for fun, because it's very time consuming. There are a few people who do. I love those people. I think they're amazing. There's a lot of people who find it time consuming in order to produce something for their audience. They want to get a little bit something out of it. And as I won't really go into too much about that whole idea because I've done videos previously on this, so but Patreon's usually considered as a tip jar to say thank you very much, here's a little bit for what you're going for. And there are those people who've come out there and used other means to kind of monetize their content. For instance, guys like Colt Cabana, who does a free podcast, but he makes money off of t-shirts and touring and doing other little bits and pieces. Same thing for Megaran. He has several free podcasts out there, but uses his time to kind of tour and produce tons of albums, have loads of free shows, and do loads of signings and stuff for people because he wants to get his name out there and his brand out there in order to give it to the audience and represent himself, and also sell a little bit of merch as well. And he's a great person who's managed to take his own career and basically make everything of it and do stuff of value. This is my hand. But when you look at this and you look at the fact that these guys are out there and they're doing these things, they're achieving so much, you then look at kind of the divided line. Now, I've been someone who's been in the gaming community for years. I haven't been a very well-spoken person in the gaming community up to about around 2008, 2010. In the sense, I opened my own YouTube channel, the whole Nerdgenious thing, and decided, hey, I want to do YouTube videos to kind of get my creative juices flowing and do something rather simplistic, but also do some complicated videos, because I used to watch people do content, and the amazing content that certain guys would create was, I just boggled the mind. You can look at guys like Larry Bundy, Slopes Gaming, guys like that who've managed to achieve huge loads of success on YouTube, and also branch out into other little things as well. And I've always believed that YouTube, in a sense, shouldn't be your main earner. You should use it to represent yourself and bring yourself out. Like if you're a podcaster, you want to become a radio host. You don't want to stay on podcasts for the rest of your life unless you're getting paid for them, and that's people like what you do, it's fine. But eventually it gets stale. So I did my thing, doing my YouTube channel. And I've never intended to kind of make money off of my YouTube channel. There was one point where I kind of toyed with it. I opened up a Patreon, but never kind of initiated it in a sense, if that makes sense. So I went, okay, I'm going to leave that alone and just focus on my own shit. Because I always looked at it and thinking, if I ask people for money, what does that make me? I always believe in the person's worth. But most people won't believe it. A lot of guys who say I'm jealous would basically sit there and say, oh, this guy, he's saying this because of this, and he's jealous of us and jealous of what we can do. I'm not necessarily, no. I always believe in hard work. I believe no matter how hard you work, you will get what you want eventually. I believe some of the greatest actors out there, some of the guys who haven't really had major successes in their career, but have made a good living off it. Guys like Rufus Sewell. If you don't know who he is, look him up on IMDb. He's right up there. And also look up myself, because just for the lulz. Excuse me, got a bit of a throat infection. So, guys like him who've made a career for themselves, but haven't become bankable, huge Hollywood stars to the point where doing tons of megabusters, which, being in a Marvel movie now, has kind of guaranteed a lot of these guys this kind of success, which is a great thing. But I always, see it that way of going, say like you go to a Comic-Con and your favourite actor is there, and this person charges you $20 or $40 for a photo, and then they get rude and tell you to fuck off. You're going to get annoyed. And my issue with these YouTube things and the drama and all this and that bullshit that goes on is the fact that I feel like people take themselves way too seriously to the point of they feel they're megastars. I see YouTube as the same way as reality television, in a sense where reality TV has made stars of people who, one, don't know how to handle it because they're going around saying whatever the fuck they want to say and don't have PR agencies behind them like most people do. And also made stars of attention whores, which is number 2. Attention whoring is, and you can accuse me of doing this, it's kind of one of those things where you have people who want so badly to have everyone focusing attention on them. They'll make up stories, They'll say certain things about themselves. They'll even use nasty language, you know, racist, anti kind of transphobic language. You've got like anti-gay, you know, and it's stuff like it makes you sit there and think to yourself, is this person for real? Or is this person literally just insane? And a lot of these guys do it. Like in the news, there was someone from over here. She was become synonymous with breast cancer because the fact that so many people actually got themselves screened because of her. She was a reality TV contestant on Big Brother. Her name was Jade Goody, and she got a PR agent and managed to sell, apparently, fabricated stories to the press. She made tons of money selling fabricated stories. Like, oh, I need a new car. Get $5,000 just for selling a stupid story that my hubby cheated on me. And she would do this, and she did it because she had this whole kind of fixation that she wanted the attention on herself. And it and it was also, you know, very nice to monetize and get as much money as she could out of it. And then you would have people like these kind of pseudo celebrities going out there doing everything to kind of grab that attention. And no matter what people say, no matter, you know, because I've been called the cancer of YouTube, and I've been called loads of other different names. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a humble, you know, father of four who tries to do everything he can and work hard to grab that brass ring, because that brass ring, I believe, is tangible. It's there, you know, no matter what you choose to do in terms of career. And currently now in today's society, in the way that things have gone economically, you can do whatever the fuck you want because everything is practically the same. You go to work for someone, you're a freelancer now. You know, a lot of companies have whole freelance contracts. Over here, we have things called 0 hours, which means you work when they tell you to work, but you can refuse if you want to, but it doesn't mean that you're going to get another job from them. So it works like a freelance contract, except for the fact they pay your tax and they pay your national insurance over here, which is what we use to like support the NHS and stuff. And it's horrid. It's horrid, but it's kind of the way that the world's kind of working at the moment. No one's really giving you that healthcare insurance and the stuff that you need to kind of survive because they see you as another body. And the same goes for the way certain YouTubers treat their audience. They see you as another hand. Now, the problem is that people get preferential treatment if they pay rather than if they actually, you know, don't pay and want the information for free. And kind of one of the big things that the Completionist touched on his video was the fact that we all got sick and tired of like reading sites like Kotaku that would basically fabricate stories or do clickbait articles or get to the point where they would be supporting something which is anti kind of constitutional in a sense. You know, it was unconstitutional, as you'd put it, and for us would be like a violation of rights. And it boggles the mind. You know, quite recently you had a young man, forgotten what the fuck his name is, he got done for rape, got 6 months in prison, probably going to get out within 2 for good behaviour, and his father was going on about the fact that 20 minutes is going to affect the rest of his life and all this and that shit. And a lot of that was due to the fact he came from a wealthy family, he was very privileged, and he was a young man who felt he could get away with whatever he wanted. Thus led him into a situation where he felt he was untouchable, and the law and the way that the law represented itself has kind of made him untouchable because of the fact that they gave him a slap on the wrist for doing something very, very nasty. And that's where the kind of the line gets drawn in terms of the way society dictates things. You have people who are sitting there going, what will I do for money? It's kind of the funny thing when you see that meme where it says 20, you know, I ain't gay, but $20 is $20. That's literally the way that the world is working right now. You've got guys like Tobuscus, Toby Turner, who will do everything he can to make some money. You've got guys who will go out there and do fabricate and come out with little stories about, oh, I got this game for like 20 pence, and it's a game that's uber rare. Then you find out that it's not, you know, it's not what it seems, because he fabricated it in order to get people focusing on his channel and getting subs so he can make more money. And it's not the way that it should be. And, you know, I am very opinionated. I am very aggressive with the way that I try to rationalize things and talk to people, and it marks by the fact that I get all these dislikes on my videos. But I always try to see things from my point of view. I've not I've been raised a good way in some retrospects, but in other retrospects I've had a very rough childhood. Myself, my brothers, and in some retrospect my sister. I was bullied from the moment I came out, basically. I went from being a happy child that would go to nursery to a miserable child to a miserable young adult to a fairly miserable adult, in a sense, who just wanted to hide all his anger and aggression and anxieties, to the point where I suffer anxiety and depression, where I will lock myself in a room and I will sleep most of the day. And it's because of bullying, whether it was bullying from my father, when it was bullying from other kids, whether it's bullying from teachers. Yes, I mean teachers, you know who you are. And when it's bullying from people. But I'd never call myself a victim, because that's not me. I'm not a victim. But the amount of bullshit that the internet has allowed us to kind of get away with now, where you have guys open up GoFundMe pages because they want a PlayStation 4 because they have a new son, and I'm not fucking kidding, this is what it said, because I have a newborn son and I want myself to stop I don't want to go crazy, when the fact that he can get an emulator, a laptop, he probably owns a laptop because he did that GoFundMe page, he put an emulator on his laptop, put an emulator on his smartphone, and play the games that he wants to play. He doesn't need that. And we've become very entitled to the sense where we feel that we need stuff. And what's happened is most of these big channels that have made their mark, made their money, and produced stellar content are getting thrown in the same back burner as the guys who feel entitled. I'm not naming names because I don't really give a fuck anymore. And that's a shame. It's kind of what's led us to this kind of Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton bullshit. You've got two sets of people who feel very, very entitled. Whether it's the immigrants, that's the problem. Whether it's basically people stealing your jobs. Whether it's people giving away your taxes for free shit. Or whether it's people basically, running from over the borders. And it's a shame, because in all of this bullshit that we have over money, and this is literally what it is, we've kind of lost our humanity, we lost our way. And do you really want to be that guy? Do you really want to be the guy who lost his way and throws all these morals out the door just for the chance to make that little bit of extra cash? You've heard horror stories where actors have played gay in order to get a role with a certain director. You've had people taking away their morals and putting everything else on the back burner because they've basically decided, hey, why should I be nice? Why should I be this good person? Because I, want that extra cash. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. And you may think I'm self-righteous. You may think I'm self-entitled because I expect so much more from great people like yourselves. But I always believe everyone is good to a point. And everyone has their own variations to a point. And everybody, is a decent human being. And you can show by the people who donate to charity, by those people who go out to homeless shelters and help out there, to those people who go out and basically do everything they can to help the homeless, help the disenfranchised, foster carers who foster children. But there is a point. Because if you look at some posters right now, is people will not go around and do things without a price. I was sitting there and I would think that an advert with someone say, change a child's life, adopt, would be more to you than saying you could earn this much if you adopt now. Or if you, foster care now. And it puts a price on things, because everything has a price. Everyone wants to make money. Everybody wants to be better off than the current situations they're in right now. Even though if you're poor and disenfranchised, everyone has a PlayStation 4. Everyone has a means to get an Xbox. Everyone has a means to get a Wii U. Because of the fact they were so accessible. And people want to, be in a better position. And it's sad where you have those who will do anything they can and get away with whatever they can just for money. Maybe it's the world we live in. Maybe it's the way that people represent themselves. Maybe It's the way, you know, it's the viewpoint of things to come. It's just sad how in history has kind of taught us a lot. We're kind of repeating it. You know, as a great man once said, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. You've got like the riots, you've got people fighting for equality, you've got people running from those who call them pieces of shit because of their skin color or because they're beneath them. Nothing's changed. And it's a shame. It's just the fact that these people have become more vocal and vocal now, and it's really sad to see it as a father with children growing up in this world. But there are good people out there. And to those, I tip my hat to you. For those who are struggling their 9-to-5s, for those who are trying to earn money just to live, and for those who are working their butts off to make sure their family has a better future and go to college and achieve something. And to those who just, you know, try to do the best they can with what they have. I support you, and I doff my hat to you. For those victims who live every day trying to build themselves up and be, you know, bigger than what they've gone through. For those who rebuild themselves because they've been beaten down by an ex. And for those who've been tortured by the ones that they love, who claim to say that they, you know, that they mean a lot to them, but treat them like crap. I doff my hat to you. Keep going, keep striving for success, and keep being the best you that you can be. And I hope to God one day I get to meet each and every one of you out there and shake your hand. Because I believe in you. And maybe, just maybe, there's more of us out there than those who want to just throw away every value they have just for this. Anyway, that's enough from me. 20-minute video. Try not to go for too long. But I need to go to bed. And little Misty over there wants to sleep too. So I think I'm annoying her. Look, she's just there. Getting annoyed. So yeah, this is Michael Burhan saying have a great day. Have a great week. Let me know what you've been up to. And leave a comment. You know, tell me what you think. Because this channel's all about discussion. And I always love to discuss things with you great people. Have a great day.